Hello and welcome to this edition to This Old Truck, where today we will be working on my Freightliner FL70 boom truck. It's an Elliott boom combination boom, man basket and load line. It's got a work jib, real handy piece of machinery. It's got a Mercedes-Benz 906 LA, and there are I could find no videos online that would tell me how to prime the fuel system. I got Detroit diesels, I got cats, I got all kinds of other motors. Similar procedure, a little bit different on every one. Couldn't find one on the Mercedes 906. So I made this video for you guys, and we're going to be using my homemade pressure pot. I call it the Primate priming system, made by a primate, me. So I had Pertec make me up a hydraulic line, fuel line, and I just put an elbow on it. This quick connect here, it's called a test port quick connect, and that'll fit onto this priming port on the fuel filter block. And I'm going to put some on this. One thing I want to notate, very important, diesel has a it's very explosive. That's why you can run it without spark plugs. It's just compression that makes it explode and give you power. This here is it's an overpressure valve. It's 125 psi. It'll blow off any excess. This tank will not hold more than 125. Diesel, I think it's 234 psi is explosive. So we don't want a bomb here. We just want to fill the top here with diesel fuel, which I've done already. I got it about 2/3 full here, about 2 gallons or so in there. But this is compressed air coming in, regulator. I've got, I don't want to make more than 50 pounds. I think this truck, this motor mechanical pump makes about 45 pounds, 50 pounds, something like that. And I don't want to go blowing O-ring seals or anything on the unit pumps, injectors. So I'm going to let the air in here, and we'll turn up this regulator a little bit. Get about maybe 50 pounds should get us started, I think. I'm better off erring on the side of caution, because I've already got something that concerns me. And you'll see here, these are called unit pumps. Each one of these makes pressure for each cylinder. And this particular unit pump, you'll notice it's all wet all around here. A little bit of trickle going down the block. That is indicative of a bad O-ring seal down in the head a little bit, a little ways. And I definitely don't want to blow it completely out. This truck's giving us trouble starting sometimes, and that's definitely the culprit right there. The injection system's pulling in air and through that leak right there. And being that the head is way up here and the tanks are way down there, when you have a breach in the system like you do right here, it's like taking your thumb off the end of the straw, so to speak. And it lets the fuel make its way back down to the tank through the fuel lines. So, speaking of fuel lines, these on the 906 on the Mercedes motor, these angled elbows, they're not just an angled elbow. If you look in there, you see that bar that goes across the face of it? There's a check valve. There's a ball valve in here and in here. There's also another check valve. If you leave these on, you're going to have a hard time priming the head, because you're going to go through a lot of fuel really fast out of your priming tank, because it's this one here, this bigger line I took off of there. Hang on. This bigger line I took off of there, that is the intake from the tanks. That's what the mechanical pump's drawing in. The head uses what it needs. The unit pumps create more than's needed, and what's returned to the tank, the excess is returned to the tank through this smaller line right here. But both of these have that check valve, so you want to prime the head first, then put your lines back on, prime briefly with the lines on while you're cranking the truck. As soon as it starts, you come out here and take this apparatus off of the truck. So I'm going to hook this up and prime the head. It's just a regular old quick connect fitting. You push on it, and I accidentally had that valve open. I wanted to have you hear that. You can hear the fuel actually purging the air out of the head here and flowing through. If you listen when I open this, you hear that? I don't know, it sounds like a faucet running. So that's the reason that I wanted to leave this regulator here instead of just filling it, giving it a shot, filling it, giving it a shot. Now that I heard this flow kind of quit here, I know that all that air has been pushed out of the head, and that the head is full, the injection system's full of fuel, and there's pressure in there. So I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to hook these lines back up. Something that you'll notice too, they look kind of silvery. That's anti-seize. When I took them off, they were very crusty. Been on there for a long time. A lot of salt spray here in Michigan. So I cleaned them off with a brass brush, blew them off, of course, covering the end of it up so nothing went in there. So that I don't have a hard time if I got to take these off again sometime. So I'm going to put this on pause here. Come back in just a minute after I put those lines back on, and kind of tricky to hold the camera and do it with one hand here. So